just another name trying to make it out of the South Side with a mic in one hand and a Glock in the other. But after the feds caught up, after Jeff got left on that porch, everything changed. T-Slick ended up in Cook County, facing 2 charges and praying for a lawyer. And just when it looked like things couldn't get any worse, something happened behind those walls that nobody saw coming. Whispers from inside say he got lined up in his own tier by people he thought were neutral. Some say it was over politics, others say it was personal. However, the question Reddit users keep asking is, what happened to T-Slick in that jail cell? The fall of T-Slick. T-Slick caught 2 bodies with Lil Jeff, Monty and Lil Rob. But instead of laying low, Lil Jeff made the dumbest move possible. He filmed himself driving off from the scene with T-Slick still in the striker. That one video put both of them under the scope. Now Slick's locked up in Cook County, fighting serious charges. And while he's in a cage, the same homies he slid for, Q50 and Rel Vert, are on Instagram throwing up racks like they forgot who really put in work. T-Slick, the one who risked it all, begging for a lawyer while his name gets no love outside. He's sitting in Cook County Jail right now, one of the grimiest jails in the country. If you know, you know. That place ain't just about being locked up. It's non-stop tension, gang politics, backdoor moves, and COs who don't care what happens inside. It's 96 acres packed with 9,000 and dudes just waiting on trial, all thrown into the same pot. Rondo number 9, D-Rose, Lil J, they all been through there. It's a pressure cooker where fights break out over shoes, phones, even just a stare. And now T-Slick's in the middle of it, left behind by the same crew he went on missions for. Now T-Slick's stuck right in the middle of all that chaos. Cook County been around since 1871, right after the Great Chicago Fire, and parts of it still look like they from that era. Some divisions been standing for nearly 100 years, old, crumbling, and built for a different time. Conditions in there ain't just bad, they're inhumane. Overcrowded units, dudes sleeping on floors, rats biting people while they sleep. No privacy during strip searches, and hours-long delays just to see a nurse. Some inmates even end up waiting weeks to get released after they already posted bond. That's how broken the system is. From the moment you touch down, it's hours of intake, fingerprints, medical checks, psych screenings, strip searches, before they throw you into a tier based on your age, case, or mental state. Divisions like 9 and 12 are where they send the ones they label high risk, and some pods only let you out your cell for 1 hour a day. And if you got mental health issues, too bad. Cook County's now the biggest mental health provider in the US, not because they planned it that way, but because the city never built enough hospitals. It's jail or nothing. For someone like T-Slick, already crushed by betrayal, facing charges that could bury him, and no real support on the outside, the pressure in there hits different. And inside county, the politics don't stop. BDs, GDs, Mickey Cobras, Stones, every set from the city got presence inside. On the streets, younger sets might be at war, but inside, it's the old heads running the tiers. They'll press shorties to squash the beef just to avoid lockdowns or extra heat from COS. That might be what's happening in T-Slick's case. Forced to sit across from ops, knowing he ain't got nobody backing him, just trying to survive one day at a time. T-Slick's name still holds weight. Being tied to Bloodhound gives you some pull, but it also puts a target on your back. In county, that clout can mean protection, or it can get you lined up. He's already been shuffled through different divisions, and that ain't random. That's either for his own safety or cause the politics in there forced it, probably both. When your name rings bells like Slick's, you're either a trophy or a threat. And if you ain't got nobody sliding money to your books or checking in, you're food. What hit him hardest was the silence. Slick went in thinking he was solid, like his work in the streets meant something. But now, no lawyer, no commissary, no calls answered. Even when gangs squash beefs inside county, that tension stays in the air. Old hits don't just disappear. It only takes one stare down or a bump in the chow line for it to go left. And Slick's face is known. His name ain't just echoing through the tiers, it's echoing with baggage. For him, this ain't just pre-trial, it's a death trap. And the worst part, this is just the beginning. We'll get into how Slick got pressed in his cell later on, but first you gotta understand how all this started. Who was Bloodhound T-Slick before jail? T-Slick came up out the west side of Chicago, moving with a tight circle known on the streets and in the booth as the Bloodhounds. He wasn't just some background rapper, he was Lil Jeff's right hand. The one always there in the vids, hoodie low, eyes cold. Locals called them Montana and Manolo. If Jeff made a move, Slick was usually somewhere nearby. And while Jeff had the voice, Slick had the muscle. His bars weren't industry ready, but they were real, aggressive, bitter. The type of verses that felt like venting after a You didn't play his tracks to dance. You played them before sliding. He only had a few songs, but they made noise. Made Me Mad dropped in December 2024 and instantly got traction. Raw lyrics about betrayal, retaliation, and sliding for dead homies. Then came Bloodbath, a posse cut with Q50, Scoom, and Vert. Short verse from Slick, but violent and sharp. The real buzz hit when a leaked track, Overkill, dropped on SoundCloud. That one had Jeff, Slick, and Q50 on the same beat, trading bars like it was a confession. No video ever dropped. Fans still say they should have that video before Slick got booked. Outside the booth, T-Slick kept a low profile until he sat down with DJ UTV. It was one of his only interviews. He didn't say much, but one line stuck out. How you get rich while being a junkie. That clip spun online. Part at the culture, part warning. Midway through, Vert nodded off next to him, slumped on camera. The comments turned that moment into a meme, but the message was still heavy. The contradictions of drill life were catching up to everybody.
To make money.
Right.
So
So if you making a 10, you making money and you take money or whatever the fuck you just said, take money.
I bet. Okay, well let's break down.
Money and you gonna do what you do with your
Hey, help me break down 10,000 right now, because if you spend 2,000 on drugs, that means you got 8,000 left.
Yeah.
Okay. Still got to take.
This one day I just did. I just made 10 today.
Okay. I don't know too many niggas making 10 a day. I don't know.
I bet you don't though, but I do.
Right.
All right, so come on.
Okay.
Let's break down this 10.
Boom. So boom, you spent 2 on drugs, you got 8 left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You still want to take care of yourself, you feel me?
However, everything changed when Lil Jeff got hit in June 2024. On June 8th, 2024, a drill went down right in the heart of Trap City. Bloodhound members T-Slick, Lil Jeff, and Q50 pulled up to South Road Avenue in a black SUV. Their target? Trap City Glenn, who just happened to be standing outside in bright yellow shorts. Once they spotted him, it was go time. Jeff swung the door open and instantly started firing. Glenn dipped behind a parked car, then bolted toward a porch. Jeff chased him on foot, still bussin', trying to finish the job. But what he didn't know was that Trap City Rob was already inside that porch, armed and ready. The second Jeff stepped in, Rob let loose. Word is, he emptied the whole clip. Jeff dropped right there in the doorway. Outside, T-Slick and Q50 were still by the SUV, letting off in Glenn's direction. But once they realized Jeff wasn't coming back and that were still flying from inside the porch, they backed off, hopped in the whip, sped down the block, but then they hit the brakes. They knew they just left their day one behind. On the ops side, that's something you don't do. So they spun back under pressure, drove straight into the crossfire. Slick and Q50 ran up and dragged Jeff's body off the porch, loaded him into the SUV, and sped off toward the hospital. But by the time they got there, it was over. Jeff didn't make it. That moment flipped everything. The street started talking. Tributes for Jeff popped up online from close ties like Lil Scoom 89 and AMF Visuals. But on Reddit and Kaiology, the convo shifted quick. Memes flooded timelines. People calling Trap City Rob the defensive player of the year. Old pics started resurfacing, showing Rob side by side with Vert. That had folks saying Rob used to be tapped in with Bloodhound before the politics split. Rob got picked up soon after. Surveillance showed him entering and leaving the apartment armed. Since he was a convicted felon, that was enough for a charge. But that didn't stick. No gun recovered, no clear visual tying him to pulling the trigger. He caught the firearm case, but dodged the body. For T-Slick, this hit different. He was there from the jump, watched his closest homie get gunned down, tried to save him, and now he's got even more weight on his shoulders. What makes it worse is the surveillance. Crystal clear footage from multiple angles showing Slick and Q50, no masks, carrying Jeff's body to the truck right after the rang out. That put Slick dead center at the scene during active gunfire. Even though he was never charged for that drill, that tape could still come back to haunt him, especially since he's already facing a double and gun case. Prosecutors could use this to build a bigger story, paint him as part of a pattern of organized hits. He didn't, but being on scene, helping pull out the and caught on camera right after, that's all they need to tie him into something federal if the feds decide to move in. And while that drill didn't put charges on his name, the footage gave prosecutors something even more valuable: context. They could now show a pattern. T-Slick showing up after gunfire, staying calm under pressure, moving like someone used to the aftermath. Add that to his connection with Jeff, his presence on multiple crime scenes, and his name popping up in lyrics and live videos. And suddenly he's not just an affiliate, he's a key player. That kind of narrative builds easy in court, especially when the bodies keep stacking and the set keeps filming themselves like they want a Rico. The price of a flex. Monty and Lil Rob had been beefing with Bloodhound for weeks. Word on the street is they hit a lick on Lil Jeff, snatched 2 watches and went straight to socials, flashing what they claimed was his jewelry, mocking him, tagging him, daring him to respond. That kind of move don't go unanswered, especially when pride's involved. The retaliation was coming, and on January 26, 2024, it did. Around 12:30 p.m., near Washington Wabash Station in downtown Chicago, cameras caught T-Slick and Lil Jeff moving through the area. That's when a dark blue Infiniti pulled up. 3 masked jumped out. Witnesses said they didn't even speak, just upped and let loose. Bullets flew. Monty got hit in the chest and hip. Lil Rob took to the upper body. Civilians were ducking, screaming, trying to get away. It was chaos. Medics came quick and took both to Northwestern Memorial, but they didn't make it. 2 lives gone, broad daylight, downtown Chicago. Now Slick's sitting in county, his world closing in, charged for something the street's been whispering about since it happened. And that viral video Lil Jeff posted right after the hit, it's the kind of thing that turns whispers into court evidence.
In that straight with that big ass Drake and the ski on his face, nigga know that's me. Come get you myself, I ain't dropping no bag, I'm a gun for real, I ain't paying no fee. Cloud the block with a big ass chop, you would think when you blew out with me, nigga bleed. Rope around the corner while I'm in the bushes, my other little bus like jump out a tree. Shoot at his face and cut off his hands if he twisting his fingers and throw up a beat. Niggas merching no time, no tag on that for trying to be funny, that's coming for me. Most of these 2 tough niggas be the ones that first be the ones putting ops on the TV and selling.
T-Slick and his crew were already hot before the bodies hit the ground. The Infiniti they used got tagged by license plate readers minutes after the hit, spotted flying down the Stevenson Expressway before heading back to the hood. It didn't take long for CPD to start connecting dots, but they didn't have to look hard, cause Lil Jeff made it easy. Not even an hour after Monty and Lil Rob got dropped, Jeff posted a video from inside the whip. Him and T-Slick, both masked up, rapping word for word to a drill track that basically described the hit they just did. Same number of same setup, same type of car. That post, it went viral, and not just with fans. Law enforcement was watching too. They started pulling surveillance. Phone records lined up. The Instagram video matched the timeline. Jeep's data showed both their phones moving together the whole day, before, during, and after the Then it got worse. The Infiniti they were in, stolen. That made the case airtight. Prosecutors said Monty and Lil Rob had an ongoing beef with the suspects. The watches might have lit the fuse, but this wasn't spur of the moment. It was lined up, pre-planned, a setup for get back. But what really buried Slick was Jeff's digital footprint. That one flex video gave cops everything they needed to connect the dots. And the craziest part, that might not even be the full lineup. A new detail from police said 4 people hopped in the Infiniti, but witnesses saw 2 others on foot. That means 6 people may have been involved. And if that holds up, more heads might be going down. For now though, Slick's the one holding the weight while the rest still post free world pics like nothing ever happened. T-Slick got picked up on January 29, 2025, just over a year after Monty and Lil Rob got dropped. Cops hit him with 2 first-degree charges, 1 attempted first degree, and multiple gun charges. It was only a matter of time. Lil Jeff couldn't keep his mouth shut, and the track Ah sealed it. That song wasn't just disrespectful, it was practically a confession. He rapped, "Them did what they did and had to pay the consequence." And that bar had the whole city tying it to Monty and Rob. But it didn't stop there. When I speak, it's only facts. He was screaming ah when he got hit. That hook alone turned a double into a meme, with fans screaming it while 2 families were still grieving. But the real giveaway was in the second verse. Jeff said, "Real tough up on the net. Now he on the floor looking like a beige. Just walked in lids for 2 hats. Really stepping on blood. Know how it get." That lids for 2 hats line, everybody caught it. Lids sells hats. 2 hats was code for and stepping on blood. That wasn't just rap talk, it was a claim. He was saying exactly what went down without saying names. The streets knew, and so did CPD. Problem was, Slick wasn't the one behind the mic, but he's the one taking the fall. Jeff made the song, did the flex, ran up the views, and now Slick's the one doing the time. Behind bars, betrayed by blood. To make it worse, tensions followed him straight into county. Word is, members from Risky Road caught him slipping inside. Risky Road got ties to Monty, so when the hit happened, it didn't just stay on the streets. Inside, it was up too. According to Trench News, it wasn't a full-blown pack-out, but Slick did get touched, caught a few punches before CO stepped in and broke it up. After that, they moved him to another division. Could have been for his safety. Could have been standard protocol. Either way, Slick didn't press charges or speak on it, but the message was clear. His face was known, and the drama wasn't over. Now he's stuck behind bars, with no lawyer, no calls answered, and no money coming in. Bloodhounds, the same set he risked everything for, started ghosting him. No visits, no books, no loyalty. Slick slid for the gang, but once he got bagged, they went silent. Meanwhile, Jeff's still out, still online, still rapping, and Slick, just another name fighting a double in Cook County with nobody in his corner. T-Slick been reaching out, asking for help. Said straight up he needs a lawyer and some bread just to fight the case. But nobody from Bloodhound picking up the phone. No money on his books. No calls answered. The same crew he slid for, bled for, risked his freedom for. They vanished. Meanwhile, the tension between Bloodhounds and Risky Road had already been bubbling, but it turned into full-blown war after a video in Chicago turned deadly. It was supposed to be another low-key vlog. Brandon Buckingham pulled up to film behind-the-scenes footage with Bloodhound. On set was Q50, Real Vert, T-Slick, and even Skrilla, who came all the way from Philly. They were wrapping up, loading out, when 6 from Risky Road pulled up and waited. As the Bloodhound crew started leaving, over 60 rounds got let off in a surprise ambush. Skrilla got hit. Buckingham's own cameraman caught one in the neck, but someone from Bloodhound fired back and hit. Risky Road's CEO Hawkham got dropped on the spot. That was the moment the beef got personal. Both sides took losses that day, and it stopped being just about sets or disrespect. It was get back on site after that. That's why when T-Slick got locked up and landed in Cook County, he became a target. Risky Road knew who he was. They recognized the face. And the same way the streets remember bodies, so do the tears inside county. While Slick's stuck in that war zone, his own people been chasing deals and clout. Q50 Vert got signed by G Herbo. J Boogie and Vert both riding under Lil Baby now. All three are living in Atlanta, still active online, posting up with cash, showing off the lifestyle. These the same ones that screamed free Slick when the news first hit. The same ones that claimed loyalty when it was convenient. Now, silence. Not a word. Not a dime. Slick's left holding the weight, alone. T-Slick did the drill with loyalty in mind. It wasn't no personal move. It was gang business, a mission for Bloodhound. But the second them cell doors closed behind him, everything changed. No visits, no phone calls, no posts, no lawyer, just silence. He went all in for the set, and now they acting like he don't exist. Meanwhile, the same people who used to scream bitch 4L on tracks keep shining on the gram while he rots in a cage. For Slick, that ain't just betrayal, it's a reality check. But there's one thing that could flip the whole case. Something Lil Jeff said before he died. In an old interview, when talking about jail time and loyalty, Jeff laughed and said, "If anything happens to me, you can snitch on me." It sounded like a joke back then, some street bravado. But now, it hit different. Jeff's gone. Can't deny, can't defend, can't testify. And that one sentence, casual as it was, might be the key that lets Slick walk. Jeff already laid out the case himself, flexed the getaway car on IG Live, rapped about 2 bodies in a verse that matched the Monty and Lil Rob hit word for word, even said in his own lyrics that, "When I speak, it's only facts." He practically mapped out the drill. Add the interview where he said to snitch on him if anything went left, and suddenly the story's there for Slick to use. Jeff was the leader. Jeff was the Slick was just there, caught up in something he didn't plan. It ain't hard to sell. The music, the footage, the phone pings. It all points to Jeff being loud and reckless. And now that he's gone, the streets might not say much if Slick did pin it all on him. Jeff gave him the out. But for someone like Slick, it ain't just about getting free. It's about the name, the representative, the legacy. And in the world they come from, even blaming the dead can come with consequences. So now Slick's got a choice. Take the fall for everybody, or use Jeff's own words to beat the case. If you like this video, click on a video on either side to watch a video similar to this one.